Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 7, it reads, "But it happened that when Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabians, the Ammonites, and the Ashdodites, when they heard that the repairing of the walls of Jerusalem went forward, that the breaches began to be stopped, then they became very angry." This is Arabia, called Arabah, called Arab. This is it. This is Arabia. Arabia that is called Arabah. In scripture it goes by Arabah and Arabia. Now we first encounter Arabah in the Old Testament, starting with the Hazrath. Hazrath is one of the locations that Moses and the Israelites stopped at when they left Egypt in their journey to the Promised Land. Hazrath is the 13th station after leaving Egypt, and it is the second station after leaving Mount Sinai, and that is a clue to the location of Mount Sinai. Now Hazrath, it is located in Paran, spelled P-A-R-N, Paran. Paran is another name for Arabah, and Arabah is called Arabia. These terms are found in scripture and found in what it has been falsely called the Apocrypha. The true, historical, ancient, authentic location of Arabia is in Namibia, South-West Africa, in the Khomas region, as well as the Khomas Highland Plateau region. You see, Arabia is all of this here, this yellow line here, all of this. This is Arabia. This is Arabia in the Khomas region. But it extends all the way up here throughout the land of Israel, through the different tribes, all the way up here to the Khomas Highland Plateau, right next to the kingdom of Aram that has been covered up, concealed, and hidden with the place name Windhoek. Aram is commonly called Syria. But this is the extension of Arabia. And this is what the original black Jews, this is what they call Arabia. And this is the location of the true historical and ancient Arabia. Now the Dead Sea, what we call the Dead Sea right here. The original black Jews, they did not use this term Dead Sea. They called this Lake Asphaltites. And they also referred to the area that the Dead Sea is set in. They refer to this along with the sea as Sea of Arabia or Arabah. Now this Sea of Arabah is not the name. The original black Jews did not ascribe Arabah as the name of the sea itself, but the sea which is set in the land of Arabah. This is the meaning of the sea of Arabah. The land is of Arabah, and the sea is set in that land called Arabah. Arabah is Arabia, and from Arabia we get the word Arab. And its true location is in Namibia South-West Africa in the Karras region, and it extends all the way north to the Khomas Highland Plateau region. And Hazaroth, the 13th station that Moses and the Hebrews traveled to, that is a town, is a village that's located in Arabia, and it is located in what is called Paran. And again, Paran is just another name for Arabia. But this is the location of Arabia here, and in this location is where Mount Sinai is located. Also, there's Seir, Edom and Idumea, Moab, and Mount Abarim. All of these things are located here along with the Dead Sea, as well as Jericho, Gilgal, Bethlehem, and Beth Haglah. A lot of other cities as well that are not mentioned. They are also located here. So Arabia is a region. It is a region. It does not apply to any particular town, village, or city. It refers to a region that is located in the what we call the Karras region, and again it extends north to the Khomas Highland Plateau region. Now the name of Arabia, it has a root word. The root word of Arabia is Arab. Now Arab does not mean what we ascribe to the meaning today. The original meaning of the word Arab comes from the Ivri language, Ivri or Ivri, which is the correct pronunciation. It comes from the two words, or the two letters, R and B. And when you put those two letters together, R and B, or it can be R and V, the V and the B is interchangeable in the FY language. R and B means high plateau of land, and the land, parts of the land is inhabited, but the majority of the land is barren and desolate. And that is Arabia. That is what the meaning of Arab is. High plateau of land where the land is barren. That's the meaning of Arab, and which is also the meaning of Arabia. So Arabia, Arab, Arabah, these are terms that describes and apply to a region in Namibia, Southwest Africa. That region is all of this, with the extension up north to the Khomas Highland Plateau. Now the word Arab, the word Arabia or Arabah, this word is found in Deuteronomy chapter 1, verses 1 and 7, as well as chapter 3, verse 17. We also find it in 2 Samuel and in the book of Joshua as well. Now Paul, in his letters, particularly in Galatians chapter 4, verse 25, we find Paul where he mentions, and in his writing he gives a clue to the location of Mount Sinai. In Galatians chapter 4, verse 25, Paul says, "For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answers to the Jerusalem that exists now, for she is in bondage with her children." Now when Paul wrote this, he gives us a clue to the location of Mount Sinai, and he also let us know the location of Arabia, the true location of Arabia. In the verse 25 of Galatians chapter 4, we see that Jerusalem, Mount Sinai, and Arabia, all three of these were in close proximity to each other, as we see here. This is Arabia. entire region here. Mount Sinai is located somewhere in this region here, close to Seir, Idumea, and Edom. And when you go upward, you see Jerusalem. The real, historical, authentic Jerusalem. This is the one that went through the 70 AD destruction by Titus Vespasian, and the remaining cities of Judah went through the 132 AD destruction by Hadrian. This is the real one, the authentic city that is properly called Agasimba. And again, you can see the close proximity. Jerusalem, and when you go south, you immediately get to Seir, Idumea, Edom, and Mount Sinai is located over here somewhere. All of this is Arabia. And again, Arabia extends north to the Khomas Highland Plateau region. Now the Salt Sea, in which the original black Jews, they did not use that term. They never described the Dead Sea as the Salt Sea, neither as the Dead Sea. They called this body of water Lake Asphaltites, and the indigenous people to Namibia, the Kwekwe people, they call it Gurachab, and Gurachab is Kwekwe, which means Lion River. But the Dead Sea, it was known as the Sea of Arabah. And again, this phrase, Sea of Arabah, is not a particular name for the sea, but let us know that the sea is set in the region of Arabah. And this we find in Deuteronomy again, in chapter 4. You find that and also in Joshua chapter 3, 2 Kings chapter 14. And we find also in other sections of the book of Joshua in chapter 15 as well, and chapter 12. Now the Arabah, again, it's a region of land along what is called the Jordan Rift Valley, and this land is barren with some parts of a population of people. And the population of people, they were mainly in the Keres region. They were spread out, but many of the population, the large amount of population was in this region here. And we find this in 2 Samuel chapter 23 verse 31, where David, one of his soldiers named Ablan, also called Abiel, he was called an Arbathite. And that is due to the region, the location of the town where he was from. He was from Arabia. And so there was a group of population called the Arbathites. And we get that in 2 Samuel. And the term Arabia also appears in the book of Amos. But this is the true location of Arabia. And it has been copied and forged and hijacked and moved to the Middle East, to the area that is today called Saudi Arabia. And all that was done by the hand of a redactor with the blessings, the finance, the backing of the Vatican, the United States, Great Britain, and mainly Germany, because Germany was the beginning of the confiscation, the murders and killing of the Nama people in Namibia. This is the entire country of Namibia used to be German. Then the Brits took over. And all those are the ones that has copied, forged, hijacked, stole, confiscated, and covered up many historical things, history and scriptures of the original black Jews, and they moved all those things to Southwest Asia, called the Middle East. And that is what has happened with Arabia. That is called Saudi Arabia. Now this is not it here. This is Saudi Arabia, but this is a fraudulent location. The entire Middle East, the entire Southwest Asia is fraudulent. We not only have fraudulent Jews in Israel, there's also a fraudulent Arab nation. There's also a fraudulent Iranian nation, because they have stolen the history of the Persians. They call themselves Persians. And that is stolen history of black people who lived in the Namibia and Botswana area. But this is it here. This is the true Arabia of scripture, of history. This is its location. And this is how it looks. Arabia, high plateau of land, located in Namibia, Southwest Africa, in the Khomas region, and extend all the way to the Khomas Highland Plateau region. Arabia.